After watching the process of currency manufacturing in Japan, I finally understand why Japan boldly reveals its printing techniques to the world. The difficulty of making a simple coin is comparable to that of chip manufacturing. Today, we will take a detailed look at how currency is produced. Here at a large local mint, the first step in making coins is to design the coin pattern through 3D modeling, and then a skilled engraver hand carves the coin die. There is a secret here. It takes multiple people to carve a carving plate. As for the more detailed content, I will tell you gradually. Then, enter the smelting workshop. First, pour the broken coins into the furnace. These broken coins are the currency recycled by the bank from the market. Although they are broken coins, they have a higher purity. It can be directly melted and reused, while banknotes can only be degraded by incineration and crushing. The metal plates in the picture are the outer edges left after stamping coins, which belong to the finished product ratio metal. So this will definitely not flow into the waste recycling station. They need to be transported by machines to the front, and then they are shaped through pressing to change their overall appearance. The copper alloy is extruded into a square shape, and when it fills a cart, workers throw it into the furnace one by one. As for the scraps, they must also be melted, and not a single scrap of metal can flow out. The mint then digs out all the impurities on the surface. Now we officially move on to the casting stage. The workers first design the casting dimensions on the computer, and the molten metal flows forward. After several rounds of processing, a huge piece of metal comes into view, which is the total raw material needed for the coins. This metal has a copper content of 75%, a nickel content of about 12%, and a zinc content of about 12%. Next, it is transported by conveyor belt to the front for secondary heating. The main purpose of this heating step is to make it easier for the material to undergo thermal explosion. At this point, the temperature is around 600 to 900 degrees Celsius. The thermal explosion temperature varies depending on the material composition. Next, we officially start the thermal explosion of the metal. This process generally lasts for several rounds, until the overall size is pressed into the required range, and then it is quickly transported to the front by a conveyor system. After being repeatedly processed by machines, a dark copper roll is ready. At this point, the thickness of the metal is about 0.7 centimeters, but this size can't be directly used in the coin production process, so it needs to be transported to the front for a second round of pressing. This step is part of an assembly line process, which is quite precise. Due to the automation, you can hardly see any workers in this workshop. Next, the metal sheets are moved to the preset position, where machines press down and continuously push them forward. This round is the surprise. That is, the metal is pressed into the original thickness required for the coin. In order to maximize production efficiency, the front and rear metal edges are aligned and welded to make the two parts completely integrated before being sent forward. After the last round of pressing, the metal color changes dramatically, and the size and thickness become more uniform. At this point, the finished raw material required for the coin is completed, and the next step is the finishing process, which is also the most critical step. First, the steel coil is fixed to one side of the machine, and then the machine is started and the metal is slowly transported. The large machine in front of you is a stamping device, which can stamp metal into a specified size. It is said that when it is started at full speed, it can stamp dozens of such iron sheets per second. Especially in recent years, financial changes have led to major mints, seemingly operating non-stop throughout the year. Start rolling the iron sheet. This step can process grooves on the metal edge and then put it in water for a short time to cool down. Don't be surprised, these iron sheets can be used as screws, washers, or coins, depending on where they are produced. This is produced by the printing factory, and this is what a small currency factory produces. These are screw washers. I have to say, this job is pretty good. Employees working here definitely won't have issues with unpaid wages. This machine can rapidly stamp the metal into coins, but just having the machine isn't enough. We also need the master craftsman from the beginning of the video, because only he can spend a month carving out the currency designs. With the engravings, various types of coins can be produced. In the blink of an eye, the metal undergoes a stunning transformation into a 500 yen coin, which is about 23 yen in Chinese currency. It's also worth mentioning that the copper content in the 500 yen coin will decrease by about 10%. Next, the master craftsman conducts a high-precision inspection. The coins don't have anti-counterfeiting lines. Instead, the focus is on the material composition and the engraved patterns. It is said that the composition and weight of the 500 won coin from South Korea and the 500 yen coin from Japan are equal. As a result, many people started putting the 500 won coins into vending machines for purchases, which forced the mint to adjust the copper content ratio to avoid this potential issue. Now, you can take a look at the patterns. The spacing on the left and right is clearly different. Does everyone understand so far?